Welcome to the Maine Child Nutrition Services New Meal Pattern Educational Series. Throughout this presentation, we will discuss different methods and resources that will help you navigate through crediting all of the components and the new meal pattern. The Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010 mandates that one new food-based menu planning approach be universally implemented. Food-based menu planning means that schools will plan menus based on items that fall within different food groups and are classified as components. The 5 components that must be offered in the National School Lunch Program are grains, meat alternates, vegetables and their subgroups, fruits, and fluid milk. So what is crediting and why does it matter? Crediting ensures that the meal the school is serving meets certain thresholds for specific nutrients without overfeeding the students. Items credit differently within food groups. Because items have other ingredients included in them, especially within the meat and grain groups, certain foods may credit differently. For example, a muffin has more sugar and less grain adding to its weight than a bagel, and pasta comes in many shapes and sizes. This is why a 2-ounce muffin doesn't equal the same amount of grain as a 2-ounce bagel, and pasta is measured by the half cup. There are many resources available to determine how an item credits. The first resource is a child nutrition label, also known as a CN label. CN labeling is a government program that requires an evaluation of a product's formulation to determine its contribution toward meal pattern requirements. CN labels state how much grain, meat, vegetable, or fruit is in one serving of their product. CN labels are used for main dish products, which contribute to the meat alternate component of the meal pattern requirements. This is an example of what is not a CN label. This product states that it contains 2 breads, but it doesn't specify how they determine this and whether it's based on the National School Lunch Program crediting or diabetic exchanges. You could still use the information on this label to make a determination, but it would likely be less than the 2 grain ounce equivalents listed. This is another example of what is not an acceptable method of determining crediting information. Here, the manufacturer states that 2 slices of bread would equal 1 grain ounce equivalent. Without an explanation of how the manufacturer came to this conclusion or a signed statement from the manufacturer, we cannot use this information for crediting. This is the statement from the previous item that can be used for crediting. This is called a product manufacturer analysis sheet, and it is an acceptable method of determining crediting information. 3 things we look for in a product analysis sheet are a crediting statement, so how the item contributes to the components per serving, a statement of the method the manufacturer used to determine the crediting, and also a signature from a company representative attesting to the accuracy of the information. Another resource that you can use for crediting are the USDA standardized recipes. USDA recipes provide the crediting information for you and are accurate as long as you follow the recipe. USDA food fact sheets provide nutrient and crediting information for USDA foods. You can see that the food fact sheets are sorted depending on the component that they contribute to. Here is an example of a USDA food fact sheet on USDA Foods turkey ham. Notice that there are nutrition facts on the right-hand side, and in the pack yield section is the crediting information for the product. You can see here that 3 ounces of this ham only equals 2 meat ounce equivalent because of the added water weight. The food buying guide is one of the most important resources that you should know how to use. All sections of the food buying guide are available online and can be downloaded in PDF format for you to store on your computer, or you can even print them out if you would like. For pre-cooked items, the food buying guide will show you the crediting information in column 4. This cooked ham with water added credits as every 1.22 ounces of ham equals 1 meat ounce equivalent. Some items that require cooking lose weight. This information is useful for determining how your recipes credit any edible portions. For example, this ground beef, no more than 20% fat, once cooked, loses about a quarter of its weight. Therefore, in order to get 1 pound of cooked ground beef, you would need to have a recipe that calls for 1.25 pounds of ground beef. More information on crediting meat and using the food buying guide will be provided in other videos within this series. The last resource for crediting items is the updated grain chart, which consists of 2 pages. The grain chart is used to determine how certain grain products credit towards the grain ounce equivalent. Please be aware that there is an older version that is included in the grain section of the food buying guide. Either chart is acceptable for school year 2013, but in school year 2014, this version will be included in the revised food buying guide. Notice that items are grouped together and credit differently, and there are groups A through I. Items in group B tend to be the most widely used foods. In the right-hand columns, the crediting information is provided for each grain group. Here is an example of Group B on the grain chart. Notice that Group B items credit as 1 ounce of actual weight equals 1 grain ounce equivalent. All of the necessary links to resources provided in this video are available in the video's description. Please visit our website for more information on Maine child nutrition programs.